Hello everyone, in this video I'd like to explain the difference between the pre-heaven versus the post-heaven chi, and although it's quite difficult and complicated to explain what the chi is itself, still for those Qigong or internal martial arts practitioners, it's something that they are working with on a daily basis, and again those who practice know that chi can be understood or explained by the movement of the human body. So when you're making certain type of forms, this involves the flow of chi. So you generate the flow of chi when you move a certain type of way. So when we're talking about the pre-heaven versus the post-heaven chi, again, this is the matter of how in particular your human body may move, and what would be the proper emphasis to put when you're making a certain type of motion, a certain type of form, so that you make sure that you work either the pre-heaven or the post-heaven type of chi. So let me start with the simple demonstration, and then I will try to provide more examples so that it gets crystal clear. Like, what am I talking about? Because this is a very practical thing to work with. So this is not theoretical stuff to understand. This is just a practical thing to work with. And it took me more than 15 years to realize this difference and to be capable of essentially making this video. And when I was asking my teacher, like, what's the difference, how to deal with this, he told me that time would come and you would understand. He was right, because yeah, really, time has come, and after like more than 15 years of practice, I finally, I don't say I understand this with my brains, but I can really sense this difference. I can show, I can demonstrate, and hopefully I can share. So without further ado, let's actually get started. Okay, so I will now demonstrate two types of forms, and then get back to a bit more explanations. So first, I will demonstrate the post-heaven chi type of cleansing exercise, also known as shogun. So the idea behind this exercise is to gather new fresh chi and push old chi that did work out. So I just take new and get rid of the old one. So essentially pulling new one from the ground, from everywhere, and then starting from the top here, I'm pushing this chi down towards the ground. So this is known as shogun, and this is the version of like this cleansing exercise to clean up one's body, refreshing the chi inside. But now I'm working with so-called post-heaven chi. So this is post-heaven chi, and I will now explain why. Right? So this is post-heaven chi, right? And now I'll demonstrate exactly the same exercise, but this time I will be involving the pre-heaven chi. So please notice the difference. Sorry, it's really hard to talk. Because you cannot use your pre-heaven chi and think at the same time. You can notice the difference in the motion. And although the effect of the exercise is the same, similar to the previous one, still the technique of how this is being performed is different. So what's the difference? This is all about one's Dantian. So traditionally, there is a posture when you put your hands on the belly. So traditionally, they say you need to take left hand, put it on three fingers down below the navel, three fingers deeper, and the low gun point should intersect with this point, and another low gun point intersects as well. So like one axis that goes through 1, 2, 3 points like this, and this is known as the post-heaven post-heaven way to put one's hand on the dantian. So this is known. This is also known as the posture for men, for males, not the females. It's the male type of posture. This one, and this is for the post-heaven chi. For post-heaven chi, for women, we do the opposite. Women put the right hand and then the left hand, right? But when we swap the post-heaven chi to the pre-heaven chi, it goes really different. So when we want to work with post-heaven chi, we want to, for males, we want to put the right hand and then the left hand. And for females, for women, on the contrary. So for just to summarize again, so post-heaven chi, men, uh, left, right. Post-heaven chi, women, right, left. Pre-heaven chi, men, right, left. Pre-heaven chi, women, left, right. So hopefully this makes sense. Now, the matter of putting your hands this or this way results in a different type, in a different kind of, like when it comes to generating the actual flow of chi from within. This different postures make it significantly different. So I'll first show this in static, and then we'll try to bring some dynamics so that it gets more clear. So uh, I'm starting with the post-heaven chi. So as a man, I would be doing the male version of these exercises. So to work with post-heaven chi, I put the left hand, then the right hand. And then I do the exercise that is known as Dantian, which means mind protects the Dantian. Essentially, I'm thinking inside like this. So my mind goes into this point, and I'm observing this point. This allows me to sort of connect all my senses all together, and the resulting power goes like the uprising flow. So I'm like becoming taller, and this is the yen, like yin yang. This is yen type of thing, which makes me like taller and more like a knife, like an edge of the sword. So very sharp, and it's not tense, but like bring all together. Okay, so sort of tension, but not being tense, but just being ready to do something. Now, when I swap my hands, again, I'm sorry, it's hard to talk when I do this, because now the resulting power goes downwards, and essentially all goes like relaxation, and my Dantian is no longer a single point. It starts being a sphere, and it's infinite in terms of when it comes inside. It's just infinite. It doesn't have the end. It doesn't have the beginning either. So it just goes like resulting flow goes downwards, and this is very like it's like I cannot talk when I do this. So the resultant flow essentially goes downwards. But this might not be that clear in static, so let's involve some dynamics to make it more clear how things are actually working. So, for instance, if I want to work with the post-heaven chi, I may consider doing some steps. Like I will now demonstrate some elements from the walking qigong that I'm now covering in the channel. So for instance, I do the walking step, the main step here. So the idea how I move as one, and I use my chi not really to move within my own body, but to unite everything all together and make it a smooth motion that drives me essentially forwards. Same if I go Sambagua, then exactly the same thing. So I'm like in one single point, and with this point I do interact with the entire world. So this is the matter of interfaces. So when we talk about the application, I just try to demonstrate a couple of exercises that do represent the post-heaven chi, how it actually gets being applied in the outer world. But what's the purpose of the post-heaven chi, the outer chi? The purpose is to build an interface to interact with the outer world so that you can work outside, You can do something, you can talk to people, you can open your heart. Meanwhile, you're not getting destroyed from within. They, the entire world cannot hurt you if you set up the proper interface. And the matter of how to set up this proper interface, that's exactly what the post-heaven chi driven exercises are meant to achieve within inside one's human body. So, for instance, in Bhagavajan, I'm using palms. So if I do all these rotations, essentially, I just do not let anything or anyone in. Okay, so I just turn over and over again. So if I do some show with another person, my idea is that no matter how the show goes, I would be not allowing person to step inside me, inside my pillar. So you know the concept of pillar, right? So you're not letting anyone to step inside. So you either turn or do whatever, but you're not letting inside. Essentially the same for Yan Taiji because of the lone power. So you just have this very long going power, and it's like the distance. So you just keep opponent very far from yourself, and hence he cannot enter your internal world. That's the idea behind different interfaces. So Bago does it one way, Taiji does it, Yan Taiji does it another way. But the overall idea, even if you do this, like walking Qigong, all these steps, if you do like Yijijin, muscles and tendons exercise, the same principle. So this is like Shaolin Kung Fu uh, kind of thing that Shaolin Kung Fu is built on top of the Yijijin, this muscles and tendons sort of form set, the inner principles. The same with like Daoyin Yan Shan Gun, very similar principles like I'm doing the first form of the heart set now. So the idea is that all the forms I do, they serve the purpose of building this particular interface to interact with the outer world. You don't need many interfaces, you just need one, and it depends really probably on fate which one would be yours. So you just practice for a long time. Whatever you may practice for a long time, that's yours, right? So for me, this is Valgo that just happened. I didn't particularly choose it, it just happened naturally, I don't know. So when I do the form that you all know well, if you've been following this channel for quite a bit of time, this known as Yanchen Bagua Janegu. So this kind of form, very calm and good Qigong exercise. So I just, there are some forms, but again, the reason behind these forms is just to properly set up the interface. So this principle, like Bagua, is all about changes. So changes mean you do not let the outer world, the outer forces in to avoid being destroyed by those outer forces. And the principle is rotation. That's just the matter of Bagua. So hence the stance, you just stand in the rear leg, empty step all of the time, and the waist gets turned left and right so that when you turn your waist, you essentially rotate. And when you rotate, you can like compensate the linear power that goes inside you if you get an attack or something. It doesn't matter if you get an attack physically, someone wants to hit you with a fist in the face, or you're talking with someone who is annoying you, etc., or like the boss in your job. It doesn't matter really. So it's a matter of whatever somebody's trying to linearly get into you and crush you and destroy you. So this principle is just the interface which allows to manage the inner power the way so that you can do the interaction, you can get the job done. Meanwhile, you're not getting destroyed. This is the overall principle behind the martial arts, essentially, especially the inner martial arts like Bagua. And the type of energy that I'm talking about that is used in order to uh, deal with this, the type of energy that can hold the interaction with the outer world, all those forms, all those principles, all these never-ending exercises, This is known as the post-heaven chi because it's designed exactly for that way. So pre-heaven means the one that you had before you were born, and the post-heaven is the one that comes when you just got born. So the lungs are not breathing when you're in your mother's belly, but when you get out, the first thing you do, fresh air comes into the lungs and you stop breathing. So that's the manifestation of the post-heaven chi entering the body, gets activated, and essentially you start your life journey. But the pre-heaven chi is the one that was, so it's stored in the kidneys. And the pre-heaven chi is something that you had even before you were born, like when you were in your mother's belly. And working with that chi allows a very interesting thing. So, post heaven chi is only good for interfacing the outer world. And if I learn to interface the outer world the good way, this is great. But still, if tension gets bigger, if I'm not interacting like one single person, if I need to interact more people, if I need to improve the power of like if just tension from the outside gets too big. Post heaven chi is not enough to handle this, and essentially this kind of scenario you may end up with. You know how to interact with the outer world. You did build the interface, but all the energy you have goes to interact with the outer world, and you are not particularly living your life internally because all your powers are being dispersed, spent for interacting with the outer world. So usually, like in today's modern world, everything is very fast, like fast-paced world. It's very hard to stay calm unless you're living in the countryside or something. But if you're in all this kind of stuff, like everything is moving, like big cities, all this stuff, usually you're running out of power very quickly because the outer world, despite the interface you have, is sucking your powers, and you cannot do pretty much anything else. You don't remember yourself, you don't understand your life goals, and you don't have the particular energy to fulfill those goals. That's the most common scenario. So, as my teacher explained to me many years ago, the idea behind the pre-heaven chi is the matter of a deeper, of diving deeper into one's own self with an idea to put everything in order, not only on the level of interfacing the outer world, but also on the level interfacing the inner world. So the true inner kind of work, the true inner work, comes only when you start working with a pre-heaven chi. Because when you work with a post-heaven chi, although you still need to master some internal like motions, efforts to make forms properly, relaxing shoulders, dropping elbows, bringing all together. This is okay, but again, this is not this is still the outer kind of thing because the type of energy you work with this interface kind of energy is the post heaven chi, so it's not going very deep. You want to go really deeper. The idea that you need to shift the emphasis from being from facing the outer world to facing your inner world. And in this case, all the interactions with the outer world, they remain the same, they just workflow automatically. But what you're being focused at is your inner world. I will now demonstrate a few forms from Chen style Taiji, which is very representative to show how, in particular, from the mechanical point of view, this essentially works. So let me show you. So what's different here compared to what I've been demonstrating previously? So it's a matter of where is the constant and where is the variable. That's very important when it comes to understanding the mechanical difference between movements that do involve the post-heaven chi and develop the post-heaven chi, and those that do develop the pre-heaven chi and get the pre-heaven chi involved when you're making an exercise. So if you want to make the outer exercise, your Dantian is thought as the point. So one point here, like Aikido, for instance, yeah. So they just stand into the Kamae posture, and the belly is uh, one single point, and there you can do various techniques, like Iriminage, for instance, yeah, or I forgot how this one is called. Anyway, so if you're doing the sword exercise, like chopping with a sword, like you do, and this, and sorry, here, and this, and this, and this, and this. So, say in Aikido, all the techniques are based on the fact that you have this one single point in the belly, and this allows you to do even you go for roll-ups. So this is still like one single point within your belly. So you control this one point, and if you can do this, then you just may do sort of everything, right? But and then now this gives you a straight spine, sort of this Aikido-like posture, because you have to walk with the post-heaven chi. You need to think of your Dantian as a single point, and this is the constant. If the constant is located as a single point in your Dantian, then the entire body movement would be the variable. Bago is the same. I just do different forms, but I have the single point in my Dantian, and if I do some forms, the Anhorn, so I always see this as a single point. Okay? Single point. I can turn back and forth, and so on. So I just do rotate, but my Dantian is a single point. Alright? Now what's the difference with, say, Chen style Taiji, which is representative in this regard? In things like Chen style Taiji, your Dantian is not a single point, it's a sphere. And your body, your outer body, is sort of fixed. Although it sort of moves, the silk railing stuff, it sort of moves, but it's sort of fixed from the outside. And the Dantian is no longer thought as the single point, it's thought as this sphere that goes infinitely inside and also outside. So just mechanically, like this form, so you see like my body is like fixed, and within this fixed form, inside of that form, I may rotate my Dantian. If Dantian is just one point, you cannot rotate it. But if your Dantian is a sphere, never ends an infinite one, and your body is like body is fixed. When the body is fixed, I can move inside the body like this. So I'm rotating my Dantian, right? So this is a different emphasis. All these forms again. So I'm rotating my Dantian. Rotating my Dantian. And you may be familiar with this sort of type of Shogun exercise to rotate Dantian back and forth, right? And the exercise I started this video from, the cleansing exercise, unlikely the first version. So here Dantian is a sphere, and I'm going around that sphere, alright? So I'm going around the sphere. I'm going around the sphere. I'm going around the sphere. I'm going around the sphere, and I'm going downwards. And no matter if this is like Chen style Taiji, the same thing. I'm going round, okay? And I'm going round, and I'm going from the sides, right? So this is my Dantian. I'm going around my Dantian, okay? So this is the matter of how to work with going around Dantian, around Dantian, around. Always going around Dantian, right? So with the post-heaven chi, Dantian is start as the point, and you can rotate the body no matter how you want. It may be Aikido style, maybe whatever style, maybe Bagua, right? Maybe Yan Taiji. But the same as the Dantian is thought as a single point. It may be Daoyin Yanshengu, offset, Shusin Pinsuegu. Dantian is one point, but it may be this Hunyuan Negung, where Dantian is a sphere, and essentially I'm working within that sphere. So if you have a point in your belly, you cannot go inside. You can just fix it, and you can do whatever against this point, right? But if your Dantian is a sphere, in this case, you can work out the sphere inside. And the Hunyuan Negu, for instance, the one I've been demonstrating on the channel, is meant to be working with like increasing the amplitude of the inner motion that Dantian can handle. So it's not simple, it's not small, but it gets like from plus infinity outwards, goes to infinity inwards. This is represented in Kai Ho Gung, open close work. So open close the upper Dantian outside infinitely, and then the lower Dantian outside infinitely and inside. Outside infinitely goes there and inside. So if I was doing this like with the post-heaven chi, I would have set the point in my Dantian, and I can also do the motion, but the motion is not involved in this. It's just a physical exercise, mostly the instinct to interact with the outer world. So I'm doing the same exercise, but now my Dantian is just in one point. But if my Dantian gets really stretched and back and forth, so this is a difference. So this involves the pre-heaven chi. So the only way how I personally can explain the pre-heaven versus post-heaven chi is the type of movement and emphasis that you make while doing certain forms. So I guess that's it from my side, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope this makes at least a little sense to you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, and cheese.